And now, ooh, I'm making connection. Hi, welcome back to my channel La Fraise. I'm Noémie, I'm a student in costume making here in Brussels, and this week we have the second episode of our t-shirt series. So I'm currently wearing my blondine from the past episode. I really love it, and what I find super satisfying is the stripe that are perfectly matched on both cuffs. Makes me so happy every time I see them. And we shall ignore the hem. If you have not seen the first episode, make sure you go and watch it. I will leave the playlist in the description of this video. But for this week, sadly, I have sewn 3 different t-shirts for this week, but the third one, the Toronto tee, is no longer available. So very sadly, this time I will not talk about it because there's no point. You can't get it. And I also wanted to thank you for the enthusiasm on the first video of this series. It was really nice to have it well received. So without further ado, let's look at the t-shirts for this week. Have you spotted I changed t-shirts? I hope so. It's quite a different fit. I really like this one. This is the core t-shirt from Core Patterns, and I'm going to show you how high it sits because it's kind of a, so if my belly button's here, it's kind of a more cropped length, and I absolutely love the fact that it's a little bit more fitted around the shoulders here. It's a little bit less oversized. I really like the oversized style of the blondine, but in some t-shirts I find that the way they oversize kind of makes you look a bit swamped. This I find is super classy. So let's start with the Dark Secrets. Isn't that a beautiful straight hem? Yes, you can see that I have not messed up this time. Or did I? Oh yes, I did mess up in the back. So you might know the story, which is that I have pre-cut everything before sewing the t-shirt, so I didn't realize that I made the same mistake twice. I promise we'll never make this mistake again, but I have 2 t-shirts with the same mistakes. At least here it's in the back. It hurts a lot less. It's in my back, I can't see it. I find so much good about this t-shirt. I love the sleeve length, I love the fit at the top, I really feel nice. It's maybe a touch too cropped because realistically, like, I couldn't tuck this in. So if you like to tuck things in, the cropped version will not let you tuck things in except if you have really high-waisted pants. So just something to note. I have made a size 12 for myself. As you can see, I'm once more a bit all over the charts. I tend to size down in t-shirts because I don't like them too oversized. So here I'm really exactly in between the 12 and the 14, and as you can see, it fits like this. So I think that's nice. What you get with this pattern is an A4 and an E0, and the instructions are in English and French. The views you get is a short sleeves, a 3/4 length sleeves. See what I did there? Magic! So this is the 3/4 length, and you also get in the length of the body a cropped, let me step back a touch, a cropped and a regular. So this is the regular. As you can see, it's a little bit longer. I really enjoy the length of those sleeves. I think they look really nice, even though in winter I always feel a bit grumpy about 3/4 length. I feel like in Belgium, it's either cold and you need long sleeves, or it's hot and you need short sleeves, and 3/4 lengths are kind of a in between. But I have to say, I think they're really nicely cut, and I also like the regular length. Just for memo, if you weren't there in the first video, I do not grade for my hips even though they're a size bigger, but sometimes I find that even without grading, the t-shirt can have a bit of a tent effect, and I find that this really doesn't. So I really like the look of this one, both the cropped short sleeves and this one with the 3/4 length. Like, I think the drafting is beautiful. I'm really happy with this one. It's a beginner level. The sizing goes from a 31 to a 60-inch bust, and the cup size, so someone asked me to mention the cup sizes for the coming reviews, which I will do. Thank you so much for your suggestion. But most patterns are drafted for a B cup, so if I don't mention anything, it means B cup, and in the cases where it's not a B cup, I will let you know. And in this case, I do let you know that it is drafted for B cup for the smaller size range and for D cup for the bigger size range. This pattern does not mention any reinforcing at the shoulders or anything like this. By the way, if you see this video when it comes out, on Friday this week, I will show you how to add a little bit of elastic in your shoulders. So if this is something you're curious about, that video is coming right away, and the video about attaching a neckband is already out. The seam allowance planned is 1 centimeter, so for me it's great. I really enjoyed the instructions, I enjoyed the drawing, I enjoyed the explanation, not too much, not too little. The one note I have is for the attachment. So this pattern is one of the ones that has, instead of a planned top stitching, it plans for you to have a reinforcement at the back, which is quite common. I do know the technique about reinforcing the back, like it's not like I don't know what we're meant to do. Looking at the instructions, both in English and French, because I was like, oh, sometimes with the way it's translated, it's easier in one language or another. In neither languages could I understand what they meant. So I feel like it's not great for the quality of the instructions. Just for that point, all the rest was great, but for the attachment of the back, in neither language could I understand it, even though I know the technique. So if you are doing this one and you want to do the back reinforcement, maybe go and look at a quick tutorial on YouTube to help you out. And finally, the hem is straight, so it's very, very easy to sew. Next up is the Hemlock tee by Grainline Studio, and this one I've had for a while and I have made quite a few of them. So this one is a new one that I have made for this video, but I'm going to flash on screen some of the hemlocks I've made through time. And what I particularly enjoy with the hemlock is a really flowy fabric, maybe something that has a bit of tencel or modo in it. I think it really helps because it creates this really flowy thing. As the shape is really oversized, I find that this truly shines with a more flowy option. This is a pattern I have done when I was a lot more beginner than I am now, and I had great success with it, so I feel like it's also a good sign. I have made a size 10 for myself. As you can see, I was between the 10 and the 12, but because I knew that this is such an oversized pattern, I preferred sizing down. And in this case, the cup size actually changes. For the smaller sizes, it is drafted for a B cup, and in the bigger size range, it's drafted for a D cup. This pattern is available in an A4 and in an A0, and it's a free pattern, but I know that this one is a bit more confusing. It looks like a paid pattern. It's actually written in the description that if you are a newsletter subscriber, there's a code at the end of the newsletter where you can get the pattern. So you just need to subscribe to the newsletter. I know this one is a little bit more hidden as a free pattern, but I swear it is also free. So with this one, you get a long sleeves, a 3/4 length sleeve, a short sleeves, and then a regular and a cropped version. So here I have the cropped. It's fairly similar in size actually to the core length. As you can see, it really just comes and covers my belly button. And I have made the short sleeves here. And this is the long sleeves version. This is the last t-shirt in this fabric. I had 3 meters of most of my fabric, so I could fit about 3 tops in each. Let me show you this one. So first, we are going to celebrate that the hem is correct all along this t-shirt. This is beautiful. It shows that I'm capable of doing it, and this way you can see the long length, what it looks like. So as you can see, it's a much more relaxed fit compared to the core t-shirt we just saw beforehand. So it can feel a little bit less dressed up, but it's very, very comfortable, like an extremely comfortable t-shirt. It is ranked as a beginner pattern. The sizes go from a 32 to a 56. They do not mention anything about reinforcing the shoulders, and the seam allowance is a 6 millimeters for this one. Now, I know for a fact that when I sewed this, when I was a beginner sewer, I'm sure I didn't use a 6mm seam allowance. Like, it's something I discovered later on in my life. So I'm pretty sure I have in the past sewn this with a smaller seam allowance, but as you can see, it's so roomy. You can totally get away with a little bit more seam allowance and you would still fit in it. And what I have even done in one of my past versions, I didn't have enough fabric left for the sleeves, and I cut the sleeves on the cross grain. It was a short sleeves. It's not as ideal for long sleeves, but with the short sleeves it was totally fine. The instructions are simple, clean. Did I mean clean or did I want to write clear? I wrote clean, but maybe I meant clear. For me, they're really clear illustrations, and I wrote, I love it. So here you are. I love it. I think they're really good instructions. The hem is almost straight, so it's not quite straight, but it's really, really near straight. So it's not too difficult to sew. I do have a note for the Hemlock though, is that you never need as much fabric as what they tell you in the instructions. So maybe something where it's worth looking at the pattern pieces and actually gauging how much fabric you need, because otherwise you might be left with a lot of fabric, but at the same time not enough to do anything with. I find that they are quite generous with the amount of fabric they tell you to buy. And now, ooh, I'm making connection and I'm realizing something. This is the same company that made the Archer shirt that I tried in my shirt series, and they also asked for too much fabric. So maybe that's something that Grainline does in general, asking for too much fabric. So that's it for this week's video. I hope you found it interesting. Along with those videos, there's a few tutorials coming for the neckline, for the elastic in the shoulders, and I'm also going to make for you some videos about how to use your scraps from all the t-shirts you are going to be making. So look forward to this, and I'll see you next month for the next episode of this t-shirt series. Thank you so much to everyone who's tipped me a coffee recently. It means a ton. Also give this video a like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to come back for the rest of this t-shirt series. Don't forget that you can make anything. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!